afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Q&A here on the Dice Tower. Now, I am, so there's a lot of things going on today. So we're going to just start right out here with our contest, because we don't always start out with the contest. People ask me, I'm going to start right out with the contest, folks. We have a contest for a $10 gift certificate from Game Nerds. Game Nerds, fantastic online game store. Definitely, you can go there. I just saw people in the chat talking about how they're buying fewer games this year. But hey, if you get this $10 game certificate, it makes it that much cheaper. You can buy at least one, right? So if you want to win a Game Nerds $10 certificate, all you need to do is email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word handwriting. That's one word, handwriting. And then in the body, I guess, tell me, do you print more or do you use cursive more? Also, why do people still use cursive? People ask. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm not bringing that one up again. Okay. So, that's the contest, first of all. Secondly, and hang on, I'm drinking hot. I just came back from my root canal. That was only half the root. Well, the root canal is done. But then they're going to put a crown on next week. But I'm taking some painkillers. We'll see if it's working. And I'm feeling a little off here, but I'm drinking some hot tea. Then I'm putting on this side. Anyway, whew, so many things going on. We just got back from the Dice Tower cruise. The Dice Tower Kickstarter is running. I haven't even looked at the Dice Tower Kickstarter in a bit, so let's see where it's at. It's at 306,000. All right. All right, well, thank you all for backing that. We appreciate everyone who backs that. And let's get, there's something else going on too. Dice Tower West is on the horizon, so if you haven't bought tickets for that, come on out. Dice Tower West is going to be amazing. Dice Tower East, of course, even farther than that. Dice Tower Retreat tickets go live at noon this Wednesday, noon Eastern Standard Time. And we got a kabillion games. We're talking about a kabillion games. We were able to record both of our game shows on the cruise, so you have a chance to play on them and have fun with them. We've been hitting stretch goals. I just paid a whole lot of money for this tooth. It's, and I'm a little loopy, I think. But don't worry, I will catch up on things, and we're going to get stuff done. What did I do with the stovetop hat I got for Christmas? Well, actually, you'll be seeing that hat later today in on one of our promo cards. So there's that. Contest@dicetower.com. Yes. Do you agree with Chris that both Dune Imperium expansions are amazing and he will always play with those over the base game? Yes, I do agree with him. In fact, if you see that, I mentioned it, my top 10 expansions from 2022. I don't know that I always play with both of them, but I always play with at least one of them. How's that? Did my tooth hurt on the cruise? No, the antibiotics and stuff, it actually felt better. It felt like this morning, I was like, do I have to go? My tooth doesn't hurt at all. But you know, if you don't do it, you'll regret it. So I grudgingly went in. Although when the dentist was done, very nice guy, I said, now the real pain, when I went over to the cashier. Let's see what else is coming. Top 100s, yes. Oh, John says, hi Tom, what are your views on the open gaming license fiasco? I have not spoken about this at all, and this will be my complete thoughts on it. I don't know. I'm not involved in role-playing games. I've read a little bit on the subject. I don't know enough of any authority to talk about it in any direction, on any course, in any matter. There are thousands of people who are way more qualified than me to speak on this subject, and so that's pretty much all I can tell you. I have no other opinion on it, and I'm not saying that to avoid it. It's just, that's role-playing on board gaming. So, there you go. Alrighty. What is more deflating, drawing the queen on turn 3 of Nemesis or rolling to start the haunt on turn 3 and betrayal at House on the Hill? Definitely the queen, because I don't care if the haunt starts early and betrayal at House on the Hill. It's still fun to play. But the queen, I'm like, oh, we got to fight this queen now. Any thoughts about the Marvel United Multiverse Kickstarter slow progress? All right, well, I don't actually know what the progress of this one is. So, but last I saw, I thought it hit 1 million. I wish our Kickstarter hit 1 million. I don't, again, that's at 1.1 million. I don't know. It has 11,000 backers. There's 16 days to go. I don't get the slow progress part that people I think want to see CMON fail for whatever reason. There's lots of cool stuff here. I like CMON. These are definitely more of the C-listers, or not necessarily C-listers. Who are they up to now? Darkchild. Darkchild's in. Oh, they made her a villain. Speed, Iron Patriot. Ooh, I like Iron Patriot. Maximus, Chamber. I'm really glad they put in Chamber. So, I don't know. Seems like it's working well to me. $1 million, nothing to scoff at. It's always, that's the thing. People always look for the negative in everything. Like, why is this not doing as well as previous campaigns? Rather than, hey, look, they made $1 million. Alrighty. Let's see. What is the brand of eyeglasses you have? I don't know. Do eyeglasses have brands? Well, I'm in a catch-22. I can't see this unless I take the... Emporio, Emporio, Armani, Armani, Emporio Armani. And this side says a bunch of numbers. Okay. What are the reasonings behind a studio's location in a house versus a commercial area? Mainly money? No, not mainly money, but we really like the idea of being here in this house. It's really fun and works well. I was thinking the other day it'd be cool to see a list of your top 10 games that you rank 10 out of 10. Well, that would be our top 100 when we get to 10 to 1. Did you spend a lot of time with Jack on a cruise? Not particularly. I got to see him a lot, and he also came to visit very briefly on the way home. He's in that mode. He's in, unfortunately, the mode where he only wants to be held by Mom. That mode will pass, but I still got to spend some time with him. Any idea what the promos will be for ISS Vanguard and Oathsworn? I do not at the moment. Do I pay attention to CMON Kickstarters as they happen or just wait until they're over? I usually just wait till they're over, but I always pay attention to the Marvel ones because I'm curious to see what characters come up next. You have a few hot sauces and spices backed on Kickstarter. Do you have any new ones you love? Yes, but I would have to go back and look at the list. I don't remember off the top of my head. I just bought a bunch of hot sauces when I was in, where was it, Jamaica. So let's see how those will work. I haven't tried any of them out yet. Did you see any whales or dolphins jump in ocean on the crew? I did not. Did the Tooth Fairy help with the dental bill? No. Well, I am the Tooth Fairy, right? Anyway. Nels says, I remember when I had a tooth removed and the painkillers wore off. I was on my literal knees in pain. Thank you for those encouraging words, sir. What was your favorite non-gaming part of the cruise this year? I like to go and see all the different shows. I always take some time out and watch a show each night if I can. And the second last night, there was these guys called Two Funny Guys. Two half Argentinian, half Italian guys. They were hilarious. Really liked that act. Chris says, my son's close in age to Jimmy and seems to have similar taste in gaming. I'd love to see a top 10 list based on what games he likes. Well, he's 8, and he just constantly changes what he's interested in at any given point. But I can help you out. Mario, video games. He'll play board games when the Mario system is shut down. How do you feel the Dice Tower Cruise panned out overall? I think it went very well. We had a fantastic time. Have you tried the Marvel Unmatched sets yet? Yes, I played a couple of the characters, for sure. Do you think Dice Tower currently gets more total views per year than any other board game channel? Not counting subscriber accounts. Yes, I do know that for sure, actually. I keep some very strong eyes on statistics. Although I was so busy. Let me see something here real quickly here. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. And checking the lifetime. Come on, Eileen. All right. I missed it. I missed it by 100,000. I was going to make a big deal when we hit 300 million views total. But now I'm not 100,000. I missed it by 1 million. We're now 301 million views. So yeah, I think we get the most views, but we also put out the most videos, so don't read anything into that. We don't have the most subscribers. I know Shut Up and Sit Down has more than us. So there's that. But again, I don't think this is necessarily any sort of, like, I'm not like, oh, ha, 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 we're better than all the other channels. I don't think that at all. We just put out a lot of videos. That's all. I want a Fing Fang Foom chibi. You and Mike both. What's your favorite Kickstarter so far this year? So if you mean year 2023, the Dice Tower Kickstarter, because we still have a job for this year. Woo! My father-in-law played Defenders of the Realm for the first time and now wants to play it all the time. Any suggestions on the next cooperative game you should try? Oh, coming from Defenders of the Realm, maybe the Reckoners, because that has a similar feel to it in many ways. If there was a DC United, who would I want the core box villains to be? All right, yeah, I'm curious. So I know nothing about this. It's just me conjecturing. So if they made a DC one, what would they put in that base box? We've talked about this in the studio. Like, this is what I think. I think they would put in Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I think they put in the Justice League, but I think they'd leave out Green Lantern. They make Green Lantern his own box. Then they would have Batman be his own box. There's a whole lot of stuff. Although I do wonder, because if you do all that stuff, then DC, you've kind of done the whole universe in one wave. While the Marvel's a little easier. They're like Avengers, X-Men, and now everyone else in this third one. But for the villains for the first box, I feel like I would put in Lex Luthor for sure. In fact, I'd make him the starting villain, kind of similar to the way Dr. Doom is in the game. I'd have Lex Luthor. I would have maybe the Joker, although that's a strong one, and if I was a company, I would save it for another box. And if I didn't do Joker, then I would do, I don't know, Penguin or the Riddler. Probably, maybe not Penguin, Riddler. Because Ra's al Ghul would be his own set. So obviously Superman and a Batman one, and then one of Wonder Woman's villains. I think those would be the three villains I'd put in the main box. I would not put Darkseid in the box. I'd save him for something else. Have you been watching The Last of Us? No, I think they only dropped one episode that I know of. Maybe there's two. I have not seen it yet. When you did your first video on board games, was it easy for you to talk to the camera? It really was, but that's not because I'm like some special person or anything, but I was already podcasting. So podcasting, I was already talking to people who weren't there. Talking to the camera, I just pretend the person's there. I don't know how to explain it. Now, it's even easier live because I know that as I say these words, you are listening to them and watching them. But I always talk as if I'm talking to a person. There's a person right there. It's you. But then I don't know. It just comes naturally. I'm not a great speaker by any means. No one has ever said. In fact, I got C's in college in my speech classes because they said I slurred too much. I didn't pronounce things correctly. Surprise! I spoke too fast. And I don't have a great speaking voice, right? I just don't. You know, no one hears my voice. You know, like Eric Summer, Chris Yee. They have these great voices. I don't. I just have a boring old voice. It sounds a little nasally. It's definitely nasally. I can try to talk out of my mouth and not my nose, but I've just kind of fallen into how I talk. So I don't got a lot going for me here. So what do? I just get excited. I try to be personable. But you know what? I constantly read threads on the internet. Tom comes across as arrogant and know-it-all and boorish and rude, and there's just a million things. But I hope I'm never boring. You know, I get to preach several times a year. I teach classes and stuff, and I know that I'm not always popular with everybody, but I hope that the one thing no one ever says is Tom was boring. Chris is going to have fun with that clip at the end of the year bloopers. I don't know what clip you're talking about. All right, anyway. Do you know when Wendy will finish painting Project Elite? I played it with a group during the cruise and it wasn't done yet. Oh, I don't know. There's a gazillion miniatures in Project Elite. I think we just did the heroes. I don't know if we're going to do all the aliens. Will the $60 pledge level be an add-on in the pledge manager? You mean the one that's $60 just to support us? I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, maybe. Approximately how many games do you know how to play by heart? Like, not look at the rules? Wow, that's a tough one. At any given time, I don't know. 100? 200, maybe? Not that many. I'd have to look at the rules for some stuff. Do you like the rooms you get on the cruise? Yes. Do you have your land legs back? I can always feel the boat rolling. My wife says the same thing. It's never bothered me. So I don't know. Everyone has different things that bother them. For me, it's apparently the teeth. But the sea thing has never bothered me. I'm not being negative. It seemed to slow down and take most of a day to get to net stretch goals. I know it's hard not to read questions if they're negative. Well, no, but it's just the way they're. It's a negative phrase question. But what I mean is, you're saying, why isn't it doing as well? But my thing is, it seems like it's doing pretty well. I mean, they don't even have Captain America or the X-Men, so I was kind of expecting it to not do as well as the first couple because there's not as much known. This is kind of a set that's for the fans. I'll tell you what, that solo mode was really fun when I played it, but the Galactus thing was super fun. We had a great time with that. But I'm excited about these items. The items thing is fantastic. I'm more excited about the items, I think, than anything else. What kind of tea are you drinking? I am drinking just regular Lipton tea. I think it's just Lipton Black. I'm a big black tea drinker. My favorite is probably chai tea, maybe. Black, English breakfast, anything that wakes you up. I almost never drink decaffeinated tea. It's my one way to get caffeine. Do you watch Hot Ones? Not particularly. To me, the shtick is not particularly funny after a while. Like, oh, that guy is like gasping because he had a hot wing. That's fine, I guess. It just... and I don't normally eat hot sauces anymore that are like blow your mouth out on purpose. Occasionally I eat some, I'm like, it's hotter than I thought. But I no longer have that daring, like, woo, look how hot of a sauce I can eat. Now I'm thinking about how well does it taste. How many lobsters did you eat during the cruise this year? I did not have any, actually. That's a coffee mug, 24 ounces. Well, yes, it's a big mug, but it's not full to the top. I will say that this is one of my favorite mugs I ever got. This is from SeaWorld. Now, one of the things I don't like, I was just talking to my wife, we were shopping in Jamaica, and I said, I don't understand why every time you go to these places, any souvenir you buy has the name of the place you went to on it, like Jamaica, or when you go to SeaWorld, and Disney, and all that stuff. And I don't really want that. I want something that looks cool I can put in my house. I don't want it to look like a tourist shop. This one does say SeaWorld on it, on the back here, but it's much smaller. I just think this cup looks so cool. It looks like a board gamer cup, but it's also kind of like a steampunk type thing. I was really pleased. Did you go in on the Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter? I did. In fact, I've read the first book. They wrote 4 books for the Kickstarter. I read the first book, and I'll probably review that at some point in the future. And I also got the swag box of stuff. I can review that right now. Who cares? That was a waste of my money. It was just like stickers and coasters and basically the stuff we're putting in our Kickstarter, which you support the Dice Tower, please do. I just wasn't very impressed with it. It was just kind of meh. It was like a mystery box. Meh. Did you do any fun excursions off the ship? No, I normally can't really afford excursions. I have a big family, so we don't normally do any. Are there any characters you would like to see in CMON's Marvel United Multiverse Kickstarter? The same question everyone always asks me, and my answer is yes. How busy was I? I was pretty busy, but I was able to stop and talk to people. My thing is just running around, making sure everyone's having a good time. You know, I'd be run over here, look at that. I got to play a lot of games with people. I ran Ready, Set, Bet a few times and stuff, but I made time that I ate most meals with my family. Normally I try to eat with as many different people as possible, but my whole family was there, including my daughters from college and my daughter with her son, and I haven't got to see them in a while, so it was a chance for me to do that. Have you ever done or ever thought of doing a top 10 convention memories experiences? Well, yes, we have done that. And also, those top 10 lists are going up all last week and this week. Top 10 gaming experiences from the last year. In fact, mine is not done yet because I haven't recorded it, but will be going up this week. Do you think your top 10 will have new ones this year? Well, I know what my top 10 does because I've already made the list. I better have, because today we're doing 100 to 91. My daughter Chloe wants to know if Ruby and Violet get nervous before doing reviews. I don't think they get nervous. Ooh, I got a super chat from John Shepard. Well, that was nice. Thank you, John. I'll get to it soon. How often do you check the Kickstarter during the weekend? It all depends on how busy I am. So I check it a decent amount of times. I mean, I'm checking it constantly now. So actually this coming weekend, so this coming Friday, we do the same thing always, where I do a board game marathon to the evening, and anybody who wants to come in can come in and join me, and there's people coming and playing games. And yeah, we'll close out the Kickstarter that way. Saturday, I'll take a little bit of a break. I need to take a break briefly. The cruise is not particularly a break for me. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Me and my son are going to go see Monster Trucks. We've never seen it before. I don't know what it's like. We'll find out. He doesn't particularly like loud noises, but I'll bring him some headphones, I guess, some noise-canceling headphones. But looking forward to seeing that with him. He does like seeing trucks smash things. Would I consider ProZD a board game channel? Not particularly. I like ProZD. I think he's great. We've had him on our top 10, and his little board game skits are hilarious. And he does board game reviews, but he does mostly video gaming. So that's what I would consider him, video gaming with a side of board gaming. But if you're asking, is he bigger than we are? By a mile. Did you get Quirky Circuits back? We did not. Quirky Circuits disappeared on the cruise. I hope whoever stole it is enjoying it. I don't know if someone stole it. I just assume. I always try to assume the best, that someone just accidentally picked it up and then they packed up their stuff and they thought it was one of their games. Jenny says, I don't think subscriber count reflects on your channel. I watch all the time, but don't subscribe because you put out so many videos it clogs my feed. Well, sure. And I know that's why we have fewer subscribers. But oddly enough, that's what advertisers and people, they only care about the subscriber count. I've never understood that. I care more about the view count. Warner Brothers seems to be more restrictive with their license. No DC United, no DC Unmatched. I wouldn't say that. They just did that Teen Titans Go game from CMOD. And there's a lot of Batman games out there. Maybe they are more restricted, but I don't feel like that's true. Is it said for the top 100 this year about the same as last year? I would assume it's about the same as last year. Would you put out a video on board game manufacturing behind the scenes? I'd love to, but I'd have to actually go to one of these board game manufacturing companies. If I ever get invited to one and I can somehow afford to get out there, I'll do it. But I'll tell you what, mine's going to be different than the other ones. And I'll tell you why. Because when I watch these board game manufacturers, they're like, look at this, look at that, look at that. I don't want that. I want you to show me this part of the machinery, and then I want the camera to sit there for a minute as I can watch it go, pick up the box, and then do it like 10 more times. Maybe that's just me, and maybe no one would watch mine, but I want to watch the machines run for a while, because it's always like, watch, look, and you're like, ooh, that's cool, I want to watch it. Nope, we're on to the next thing. Nope, we're on to the next thing. And I could just watch the same machine just for, maybe 20 seconds or whatever, but before I move on to the next part. I just find watching those machines work so interesting to me. Joker, Metallo, and Cheetah as the villains. I would do Lex Luthor as an anti-hero. I don't think so. Luthor's been a good guy like less than 1% in the DC universe. And almost always when he's a good guy, he was pretending the whole time. He's straight up villain. If they make Lex Luthor purple, I'd be like, boo. Since when is he good? Barely. When will we see a night show at a Dice Tower cruise again? Wasn't there one just on the cruise here? Oh, hi, Tom. Hope your teeth are okay. Do you know sharks go through 35,000 teeth in their lifetime? Imagine a dentist bill. That's why they're always hangry. I told my wife Ark Nova last night, but she really dislikes snakes and wants to try that with them removed from the game. Do you think that will break the game? I don't think that will break the game, and I know this because I played Ark Nova with no snakes. I haven't taken out all the reptiles, but I played it with no snakes, and it worked fine. Do you know when the picks for the merch for Dice Tower East will be released? I don't. Dice Tower East is still pretty far away, so I'm thinking we're looking at West first, but I know they're working on a Dice Tower East merchandise. Please make the $60 pledge an add-on. I pledged for the pizza party. I want to pledge a couple times. Oh, sure. Then I guess I will do it then. But you could do that anyway. Whatever you pledge for, you can pledge over and above that amount. Like, let's say you buy something for $100. You could say, I'm going to pay $200,000 for that amount. And the $199,900 extra would just go to the Dice Tower. Kickstarter doesn't really make that clear sometimes, but you can do that. I know you love a lot of Uwe Rosenberg games, but you don't like At the Gates of Loyang. I don't, but I've also only played it once a really long time ago. I could change my mind now. Who knows? Was there ever a math equation you were never able to solve? Yes. I'm not that good at math. I'm sure there's thousands of millions of equations I can't solve. When teaching a new game to a new player that has unique player card decks, you let your opponent know examples of kinds of cards to expect to be played against them. Sometimes. But, I mean, when I play a newcomer in one of these games, I'm not trying to destroy them. So I might be like, just so you know, I have a card that can cancel cards that you play. I might say that about my own cards. If it's two new players playing against each other, I kind of like just let it happen and see how it plays out. What restaurant do you recommend at Dice Tower West? I can't really recommend there because I'm not an expert on restaurants in Vegas. There's a gazillion there, and I don't know the area that well. Honestly, I just got to go to stuff and go, this is cool. But I have nothing I can really recommend. I'm sure more Vegas locals can do better than that. Do you know when they will announce the winners from the Dice Tower Cruise event entries? Oh, yeah, they announced them on the cruise. We announced them at the final game show. All three winners were at the final game show, so that was convenient. Do you differentiate between your personal collection of games and the Dice Tower library? I don't have a personal, well, I do have a personal collection of games at home. Like 20 games are kid games for me and the kids to play. The library is different, and the library is my collection. It would not be my personal collection because there's a lot of games in there I don't particularly want to play. But, you know, keep that in mind. By the way, in case I haven't said this earlier, folks, I'm ending 15 minutes early today because I'm jumping over to the other studio, preparing to do our top 100 games of all time. Has the tooth drugs completely worn off? No, and hopefully not. But I definitely can feel it here. If I back at the $60 level for nothing, or if you back for $60 with digital rewards, it's about the same on your side, 100% it's the same on our side. A digital reward costs us nothing to give to you. If I pinch in a bit more to the Kickstarter, will you promise to buy Brass Birmingham and Anno 1800 organizers? No, I don't normally put organizers in games because organizers do not work well when you turn them sideways. Sorry. You missed the point beyond hot ones, sorry. It's about breaking down their barriers by them focusing on the heat pain. It's a psychological strat that works well for them. Well, no, I get that's what they're doing. That's fine, but I don't know that I'm necessarily watching people be in pain all the time. That's all. Cthulhu Zombies, what's the 2022 overused theme? Probably plants. What's your go-to game for 5 players when the group refuses to split up? I don't know off the top of my head, but we have done a top 10 games for 5 players. Ever come out to LA much? I've been out to LA like 4 or 5 times. 2 or 3 times? I don't know how many times I've been there. Not many. I've not been on any of the movie studio lots, no. I see more video reviews from various reviews. Did they get paid per video, or are they just reviewing the games for the exposure-free games? I pay my reviewers who review games. Have you considered doing a Disney Dice Tower cruise? It would be easier for me to get the family on board if that was the case. It might be easier for you to get your family on board, but also then I'm pretty much sure our cruise would get cut down by 90%. Disney cruises are very, very expensive. Tom, how comes you never did a playthrough of your own game, Nothing Personal? Huh. That's a good question. I don't know. Just out of curiosity, I'm wondering if some sponsorship would potentially affect some of your reviews. No. If I don't like a game, I'm going to say it regardless of if someone's sponsoring the channel or not. Straight up. And you can see that. All Play sponsoring many things on our channel. I've given them negative reviews. I've given negative reviews to Arcane Wonders games, someone that I work with. Pandasaurus, I give negative reviews of their stuff. I'm not going to let that affect my reviews of someone's game. Top 5 monuments you've ever visited? Number 1, Great Wall by a mile. I don't know if it's a monument, but you know what I mean. That's a man-made structure. I guess not a monument. Monument, that's harder. Washington Monument. Jefferson Memorial. I like both of those a lot. Not Jefferson. Lincoln. Jefferson's cool because he has the same first name as me. But I like the Lincoln one better. So Lincoln and Washington for sure. They're both in D.C. I don't know what's considered a monument. All right, fine. I'm going to do a list of world monuments. See, this is listing buildings now. It says the Taj Mahal. Never seen that. Statue of Liberty, that's pretty cool. Great Sphinx of Giza, I want to see that one. Kremlin, I want to see that one too. All right, so Great Wall number 1, Statue of Liberty number 2. Gateway Arch, I saw that, but not close up. Wow, there's so many in the world. Does Eiffel Tower count? Because that would be cool. I don't know if that counts, though. I've been to the Forbidden City. This is a list here, too. Forbidden City, I've been to that. That was cool. I'm looking at a list on Wikipedia now of the most visited stuff. So let's see what I've been to. I've been to Forbidden City, as is 17 million other people each year. Not been to St. Peter's Basilica. I'd like to. The Palace of Versailles, I guess. Lincoln Memorial, I've been there. Colosseum, I really want to go to the Colosseum. Parthenon, I want to go to the Parthenon. Eiffel Tower, been to that. Taj Mahal, no, I'd like to go there. The Cologne Cathedral, no, but that'd be kind of neat. Peterhof Palace, that'd be cool. The Baths Palace, that's in Warsaw. I haven't been there either. Vietnam Veterans Memorial, that's nice, but for me that was such a somber experience. I don't know that I would say I loved going there, but it was somber. World War II Memorial, I don't know if I've been to that one. The Liberty Bell, meh. It's interesting and neat, but it's kind of underwhelming. Sagrada Familia, I really want to go to that one. That'd be neat. Statue of Liberty, of course. Teotihuacan, I've not been there, but I should at some point. Mysore Palace, Pompeii. I'd like to go to Pompeii. All right, Tower of London. I really like the Tower of London. That's like a building. Okay, you know what? I'm wasting time answering questions. Hey, I got to the super chat. The frame at the back is a little askew. OCD acting up. Okay, something is going on here. My apologies. Ugh. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Where are we at? We were talking about the things, and I got the monuments. So I got to find the monument question because that's where I got completely off the rail. Okay. Why does it keep jumping for me? Okay. Why are the promos in your Kickstarters in lots and not price per promo? Pick your own. Because that would make everyone at the Dice Tower go insane. I'm not kidding. So when we ship things out, so let's say, you're getting a shipment and you're like, I would like A and C. We go A, C. Also, they like coasters and some dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 80 promos. You'd be like, I want promo 1, 16, 19, 46, and 82. It would be insanity. It would be so difficult to send those out. We cannot do it for logistic reasons. We get asked every year, but we can't. Here's the super chat. Thank you, John Shepard. I went all in on Marvel United X-Men. I'm happy with the multiverse Kickstarter. More heroes and villains and other things. Win-win. Ah. What are your non-gaming plans looking like as your kids are growing up and shipping out? I get to spend more time with my wife, and pretty soon, once we get rid of a few more kids, she can start coming to my gaming conventions. I have an idea for the channel. Z, Mike, and you get 2 photos for 2 people of the BGG shelves, and we pick the winner. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that, though, because we're also picking a loser by doing that. If it was like 10 and you picked one, that'd be one thing. But one feels like you're saying the other one's not as good. When teaching board games to players who are new to the hobby, do you think it's better to play worse to make it even, play normally but offer suggestions, or just play normally? I would play normally, or I would maybe try some weird strategy and make suggestions. I want them to have a good time. Crushing them does not make a good time. Are you looking forward to the new Super Mario Brothers movie? You know, I don't even need to think about it because my son knows everything about this movie when it's coming out, so he will let me know when it's time to go see it. So, I won't hate it. It'll be fine. Alrighty. Quirky Circuit, says Jackie, might have been on that pallet. The fork was overturned and pushed 50 feet along the cruise ship. I heard about that. I didn't see it, but I got enough pictures from people showing me. It was a bunch of tables. I'm sure they're fine. When Kenny gets here, I'll find out. This is driving me nuts. This thing is constantly... running around and doing some weird things. The things. Wow, where am I? There we go. Wow, I'm sorry, folks. This just keeps jumping here. Working on a business plan to start a board game buffet. Give me a top 10. Top 10 games you pick to sell in your store if you could only stock 10 games. I don't know. I don't know if that's a very interesting list because my number 1 would be Magic the Gathering. You know, I would pick games that are just all. I would have 10 LCG, collectible card games probably. I thought the top 10 list with Trey Parker was very fun. Are there any more videos playing with other celebrities that are into board games? Not at the moment, but if any celebrities are watching my show and would like to be part of one of these, email me and let me know. Hey, Mr. Vasel, good morning from Brazil, or good afternoon from Brazil. What point salad Euro game did you play the most last year? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Are there any Brazilian games in your library? I'm pretty sure there are. Let me see here. Trying to catch up. How do you deal with people who won't remember a thing and ask the same questions 10 times when you teach them board games? I keep answering them, but that does get a little annoying after a while. Alrighty, let's see here. The Heart Attack Grill says, Lord of the Flings. No, yes, I know if you're over 300 pounds, you eat for free. It's a funny thing, but the food doesn't particularly look very delicious. All right, calm down here. What is the Dice Tower succession plan if something happens to me? I'm actually working on that. I have some ideas and thoughts. How many snails did you consume this cruise? I think only 2 plates of them, actually. Do you plan on expanding the studio even more? If so, does that mean tearing down a wall, expanding the house? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. We're pretty happy with where we are at this moment. Let's see here. Have you ever had any boards warp on you due to storing vertical? No? No, not at all. Has that happened to other people? I mean, boards are usually folded. They're like sitting there in a box. Usually there's stuff pushing them up. I've never had them warp from that. What decks are you playing at the moment in Snap? I jump around to whatever deck helps me accomplish missions. So I'm still playing my Thanos deck. But I also build a deck around the new guy, Zazu or whatever. That is just him, a level 1, the Sunspot, and then everything else in the deck is level 4. So if Zazu comes out in the first 5 cards, it's great. If he doesn't, the deck's terrible. But if he does come out in the first 4 or 5 cards, you play him, and then all your cards cost 2. So on turn 4, you play 2 cards. Turn 5, you play 2 cards. Turn 6, you play 3 cards. And that's just fun. It's just a fun deck to play. What are some reasons a true semi-co-op game hasn't worked for you? They normally don't work for me because at the end of the day, somebody is going to put themselves over the team. And it's just not fun for most people involved. In terms of buffets, a Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan, Bacchanal Buffet at Caesars, and I don't want it the winner, the best ones on the strip. Well, good. I knew about the Bacchanal and the Wit. Those are my 2 favorite. I've not been to the Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan. I guess I'll have to try that out sometime. Is there a nicer man in the board game hobby than Rodney Smith? Indeed. Rodney Smith's a nice guy. Rodney Smith's a great guy. But I have a lot of these nicer people in gaming working over just beyond the wall. Chris Yee is one of the nicest guys in gaming. Mike DeLisio, one of the nicest guys in gaming. Roy Kennedy, one of the nicest guys in gaming. Z is also working for the Dice Tower. That's a joke, folks. All right, let's see here. Have you ever played a horror board game that actually scared you? Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space comes a little close. But nothing really scares you without sound effects and stuff like that. Did you get to try Marvel Zombies yet? I have not. I want to, though. So, let's see here. Okay, everyone's talking about Vegas restaurants. So, jumping there. Thoughts on the Wingspan nesting box? I'd like to see it in person. I haven't seen that one yet. Have you ever played that game where you identify board games based on their pieces and components? Well, a lot of people do that online all the time. It all depends. I mean, sometimes I'm good at the game and sometimes I'm not. And sometimes I don't identify a game that I play all the time. Who are better, Beatles or Stones? I guess Stones. I mean, obviously no one likes Beatles, but yesterday I was in a church meeting and I watched this beetle. I ran the meeting, but I had to sit down for some of the reports, and a beetle crawled all the way across the stage really slowly. And at a very boring point in the meeting, it fell off the top stair, which I thought was funny. And so when I got back up, I told everyone, and they thought it was funny. But anyway, I don't like Beatles much beyond that. Stones are fine. I mean, obviously, stones are the basic building block for many houses and things like that. But you get a stone in your shoe? Woo, worse than a beetle. No, beetle in your shoe would be bad. Stones are better than Beatles. Did anyone return a game late to the library on a cruise? Of course, but only 8 minutes late. So there's that. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, a super chat. Are you looking forward to the final release of Yucatan? What were your thoughts on it? Yucatan. What is Yucatan? I don't know why this is not Yucatan BGG. Oh, that's the one we played. I thought it was very, 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 very okay and not that interesting to me. But I've not played the final one, so maybe I will change my mind. So, all right, folks, we need to end this stream here because we got to go to the top 10 list over there, top 100. We're doing 100 to 91. So just jump over there. We'll be back in 15 minutes. We'll see you then, folks. Thanks so much for watching. And I'm looking to close this out. Where is it? It's over here. All you need is love. Bum, ba, dum, bum.